Hello, Jonathan. Back from the city already? How is the situation over there?
Tense, to say the least.
I am sure every obstacle will cede to your relentless determination. In the meantime, can I be of any help?
Did you know that Lady Ashbury is an artist? And rather a good one.
Well, actually, yes. I attended an exhibition of her paintings before the war. Beautiful landscapes and stunning portraits. I wish I had purchased one.
Perhaps we could go to her next exhibition, you and I.
What a beautiful idea, Jonathan. Did you know she told me once she had been a model for famous painters? But she never told me which ones.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
Oh, the legendary founder of the Ascalon Club. I'm afraid I cannot help you with that, Jonathan.
So you do know him?
All the Brotherhood knows about him is highly confidential. He is dangerously intimate with the royal family and Britain's inner circles.
Are you afraid of him? Is he that dangerous?
No, but since most ancient vampires were killed or fled England during the Great Hunt of 1850, he may be the oldest British vampire. A myth in the flesh, so to speak.
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members.
Why was it a tragedy?
Not only did the Guard of Prewen hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless knowledge was lost in just a few nights.
Tell me about the betrayal.
The founders of the Guard of Prewen stole precious and unique documents and reports from the Brotherhood's library when they left. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
I shall return later. Thank you, Edgar.
So if you couldn't entirely hear during that, there's kind of like a stringed instrument playing in the background. Kind of a plucking strum. Every time, I guess it's more pluck than strum. Whenever, well, I guess for the entirety of it. I don't know, I just find it kind of fun listening to the music. I don't think it's, I don't think that happens for any of the other characters. You know, none of the little side characters, but for the main ones it's cool. Anyway, let's go to the Ascalon Club. Let's actually progress this game. No more fooling around. I guess let's just take
Please, I feel sick. Get over
a more direct route. I don't know. Oh, hello.
Cross the leash, boys! Killing's all you deserve.
Thank you for standing in my blood pool. Yum, 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 yum. Wow, that was effective, though. Like, my AoEs are unfair. I think that... Yeah, he's dead. Ow.
He's dead!
I should probably heal myself. There we go. Wow. I just take off all of their stamina. You are, these guys are not built around this. Also... This is your face on meth. Turbo meth. Don't do it, kids. Jet is one hell of a drug. Okay, do skals count as humans and thus sustain on your immortal vampire soul make you look vampiric? As long as they're not a named NPC, nobody cares if I kill them or not, including the game. I don't get judged for it. Yes. Trash. Okay, a little bit more. Let's see, when's multiplayer tonight? Multiplayer will be, the 10. Around 10. I don't remember. It's somewhere in there. So we've got to start meeting people around here. It's not Finsbury Gate directly. But there's NPCs. There's one more whole community left. I don't know if, I don't know how sick they are. Probably no sicker than any of the other communities, but, it's been bothering me this entire game that I haven't had access to them. It's like, there could be all these sick people that I could be curing. Mainly just because, you know, there's the baseline fear of just, like, we get there and the whole place is already on fire, and it's like, you took too long to get here. And it's like, no. I don't remember what games did that, necessarily. Oh. Right, this door is closed. Okay, let's go this way. Let's see what happens. One of these will have to get me in. I just don't know which one. I'm trying to think of a game example of that, because it's definitely happened to me in a video game before, where I got to X place in the game, and because I had just not known it existed or something, I got there and it's like, yeah, you messed up. You were supposed to go here, like, a long time ago. Now that you're here, the whole place is a giant mess. The impact of this cutscene is
the vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners.
The impact of that cutscene was significantly dampened by over and over and over again. We had that problem earlier too.
Beast! Die, beast!
Where it was like two dudes shouting in the background, and you could just hear them shouting the entire time. Or is it the same conversation over and over again? Well, I was like trying to talk to somebody or listen to something. The Iker's threat. Of all the evil and foul skals I ever had to fight, the Iker, or Ikor, may be the worst. Not because of its fighting prowess, even if it remains a powerful and dangerous opponent. Not because of its superior wit or cunning plans. An Iker is quite blunt and straightforward in its actions and objectives. Spread diseases, contagions, and epidemics, wherever and whenever it can. An Iker is the incarnation of viruses and infections. Wherever it goes, sicknesses appear and quickly spread. It is like it only walks this earth to generate plagues and epidemics, as if its skin itself diffuses sickness. Ikers are clever, sneaky, malevolent, and ferocious, capable of enduring many wounds. To spoil a water tank, a granary, or a banquet, this is the kind of things an Iker would enjoy to do. In order to please its putrid and perverse nature, they are so rare that we do not know anything about them. The lazy brotherhood believes that they should not be considered vampires, or skals, but as something else. All I know is this: an Iker must be destroyed by all means necessary as soon as it is spotted. From Know Your Enemies by Carl Eldritch, pre-win leader. That's my name. I'm the boss. Okay. I really like the set design in this game. There's so many good things about it. It just strikes me as the kind of game that desperately needed like a feedback stage, like an impartial feedback stage, from some people to be like, you know, you really need to like fix this bug and like, you know, one or two other things. And I'm always going to be a little bit surprised that didn't happen, because this could have been like a really phenomenal game if they had pushed it a little bit further. Oh well.
It's locked.
Interesting. I'm still not disappointed by it. You know, I was disappointed by Moonlighter. Moonlighter was a game that I had really high hopes for. Maybe part of it is pure expectations. I had very little for this game. I was just kind of like, I don't know. It'll be good, probably. And that was my only expectation. And so far, yeah, it's been good, probably. Nothing more.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Okay, so we have... I guess first, for starters... Oh, hello. I guess I can't go there. Let's see if I can go up. Is there anything of any merit up here? Not overwhelmingly. But,
Are you from Ascalon? I don't care! Ah!
yeah, some of these vampires are kind of on the tough side. I am glad I've done the extra grinding. It has certainly helped me out here. I like how all these vampires do not actually do lasting damage to me. It's taking time. Give me your blood, Mr. Vampire Man. Okay, so we've got him hiding out in here. Can I get in? Oh. Hello.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reid, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
Okay, so I can't do anything with him, but I've saved his butt, so we're good. Let's see. I guess I'm just gonna keep kind of wandering around. There's a couple of things to do. I don't think I can get to my... back's kind of sore. There's a hideout in here, but I don't think I can get to it. Oh. But I can fight her. That was weird. How rad would it be in this game? I don't think there's a way in there. Oh, hello. Wait, oh wait, no. Never mind. What am I thinking? I can just beat my way through here. Wasn't there another section that was like totally blocked off by barrels and boxes that I totally just like assumed were unbreakable? I do that, not infrequently. I will look at something and be like, well, can't get through there. I'm sorry, I'm just so used to... Oh, there's a barricade of boxes and barrels. Oh! I know where it was. It was where we saw that vampire earlier take the woman. That's what it was. It's just my baseline assumption. It's like, oh, yeah, can't get past that. It's wrong, but whenever I see it, that's what I think. Small key. Huh. I never used bullets to begin with, so... Oh, there's people in here. Oh, this is my house.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law, you're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Ooh, she has lost her marbles.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
I mean, that was weird looking. Anyway, yeah, of course she's lost her mind. Her entire family is dead. Has been dead, potentially. I mean, my assumption is... Jonathan's father's been dead for some time. Mary's husband died in France. Her son died from the flu. Jonathan came back, or was coming back from the war and never made it home. No idea where he went. In the middle of a giant epidemic. Go figure, he'd end up in a mass grave, which actually did happen, but still. Anyway, Reid Mansion, 14th of April, 1908, so 10 years before. My dear and beloved John, when you read this letter, you will be 35 and I'll be long gone. I feel a little silly writing you this first letter that you won't read for a few years. I struggled for a long time about how best to write you this, until I remember the puzzle and riddles I invented for you when you were a boy. Oh, how you loved to solve those enigmas. Well, I found it would be a good idea to propose to you. Wait, this is the father, yeah, Aubrey Reid. Let me go with an older voice. Propose to you one final game. I will probably be less rewarding. No candles or exotic treasures for you if you decipher the game this time. But a greater treasure, perhaps. The truth. This is my only attempt. for you to explain why I chose to leave my family without an explanation. If you want to know why, simply play my little game. It's really up to you, my son. Rest assured that I love you. I promise my family was and still is everything to me. I remember the first time I held you and your sister in my arms, my treasures, my jewels. To see you grow up, play, and laugh filled my heart with joy every time I went back to our home. I could have killed to protect you, my son, my daughter, my wife. But fate found me in the end, and I had to make a tough decision. The worst was to disappear without a word. I decided to do it anyway, and soon I'll be gone for good. I don't ask for forgiveness, but understanding if you want to know more, all you have to do is remember how happy we were back in those days. And if you want to find my next message, think green grass and tall trees on sunny Sundays. From your affectionate father, Aubrey Reid.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Okay, so he's leaving breadcrumbs for us. So he probably is quite dead by this point. Maybe not, I don't know. Well, let's keep robbing my own house. Let's see, anything else? We want to look for him.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Oh, she got hit by a mesmerize. Because she got hit by a mesmerize, her mind broke. I mean, beyond just the mental break of both of her children being vampires.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir, so my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
So I wonder if the pillar of the community is straight up going to be, Hello? What is that man? He's majestic looking. Quickly finish looting these just in case there's pistol parts. That dude looks... He looks like a sim I've made in the past. Not one of the good ones. There aren't any good ones. Alright, so we're officially in the West End, the good part of town, where we get to actually meet people.
The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected. Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit, it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
What was that wording? I'm Doctor. I'm Jonathan Reid. I think they messed that one up real bad. Oh well. This guy has a unique song. Maybe they all do. I can't tell, but he's got a song. Either that or it's the West End, I don't know.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
I'm afraid the newspapers are seriously underestimating the situation. Things are critical, believe me.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
London's lone gourmet? What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Hey, handles. Just gonna stock up on those. Probably head immediately back home. I don't know about the rest of this stuff. I think I have the rest of these.
Don't let any strangers come into your house.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
Oh, Clarence Crossley. He's the guy that's been leaving all those pamphlets all over the place. He's the guy that's warning everybody against vampires. That's funny.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny. I didn't want to sound selfish.
Ah, he's got a migraine. I got a treatment for a migraine. I'm gonna probably go make some more meds, but first...
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Do you need medical...
It's a little late for visit...
What can
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
You need some rest.
Okay, so that's gonna be something later. We want to go back inside here. I'm gonna just stock up on meds. Let's say 2 of each? I don't know. Back before I had to revert my save file, I had a lot more. But can't do much about that.